So your GRC interview is tomorrow, 9 a.m. Your stomach's tight. You keep refreshing Reddit over and over again. You're opening your LinkedIn. You're checking YouTube. You're hoping just someone's going to tell you exactly what to say in that moment. Well, guess what? We're going to do that, but we're going to do it better because this is what we teach at Excel Mind Cyber Institute. I'm Professor Dennis Kenny. I'm Director of Programs at Excel Mind Cyber Institute, and we have prepped hundreds of people for their first GRC interviews, and we noticed something. We noticed that the same 6 questions keep coming up in almost every entry-level interview. The same questions, different companies every single time. So we're not just listing answers. What we're doing is we're role-playing your actual interview. Now, right now, okay, I'm the interviewer, you're the candidate, and I'm gonna show you the answer that thanks you, then the answer that gets you hired. And by the end of this, you're gonna be ready, all right? Good, let's get started. Now, question number 1, the icebreaker. So every GRC interview, it starts here, the interviewer voice, okay? So tell me about yourself. Why are you interested in this GRC analyst role? Now, most candidates, they end up saying, oh, hi, I'm Sarah. I went to State University. I studied information technology. I saw your job posting on LinkedIn and it looked interesting. I'm really excited about cybersecurity. Okay, stop, please stop right there. That answer just moved you to the bottom of the pile. Now, why? Well, because 47 other people said the same exact thing. You told them nothing about what you bring, nothing about why GRC specifically, nothing about your value. So let's go back, let's replay that. So tell me about yourself. Why are you interested in this GRC analyst role? Well, a better answer is I'm Sarah. I've spent 5 years in project coordination where I managed documentation, I tracked compliance deadlines, and I worked with cross-functional teams. And I realized that I love the governance side of the business, making sure that everyone follows the process. And I took the time to learn ISO 27001 and SOC 2 frameworks. And I built 3 mini projects to prove that I can do policy work, that I can access reviews, and I can risk tracking. Now, a GRC analyst is the perfect fit because it combines my documentation skills with security impact. That is the answer, okay? Because you just told them 3 things: what you've done, what you've learned, and why you are valuable. So the interviewer just wrote strong candidate on their notes. So you're at 20 out of 100 points. All right, let's keep going. Question number 2, the knowledge check. So they're testing if you actually know what you applied for. So interviewer says, can you explain what GRC means? Here's the wrong answer. GRC stands for governance, risk, and compliance. It's about making sure the company is secure and follows regulations. Okay, look, that's not terrible, but the answer is surface level because everyone says that. The interviewer is already bored. You need to go a layer deeper. Let's try this again. Can you explain what GRC means? Here's a better answer. GRC stands for governance, risk, and compliance. And governance means who can do what and who approves decisions. The rules. Risk, it means what could go wrong and how we reduce it. And compliance means proving we follow those rules with documentation and evidence. So if a company holds customer data, governance sets the access rules, risk identifies who shouldn't see it, and compliance keeps the proof that we're following our own rules. Perfect. You just showed that you can explain it simply, not with the buzzwords, not with jargon, simple words anyone can understand. So that is the green light. All right, so you're at 40 points now. Question number 3, the technical one. This trips up most people, okay? Interviewer says, what is risk? And most people freeze. Or they end up saying something like this. Well, risk is when something bad might happen to the company. Okay, that's pretty vague. And you just used a circular definition. So let me show you the problem. If I ask you what is rain and you say rain is when it rains, you didn't actually explain anything. Same problem right here. So let's try this again. What is risk? Now the better answer is risk is the likelihood of something going wrong multiplied by the impact if it does. So we look at 2 things. We look at how likely is this event and how bad would it be if it happened. Now that calculation, that gives us the risk level. Then we decide if we accept it, if we reduce it, or if we eliminate it based on cost. Okay? Perfect. You nailed it. Likelihood times impact. That's the formula. Interviewer is going to smile. You've just approached 60 points. Now here's the hard one. Question 4, the scenario question. This is where most people really panic. The interviewer says, let's say you're reviewing access logs and you notice an employee has access to financial systems that they shouldn't have. What would you do? And most candidates, they end up rambling on and on. Well, listen, I'd probably talk to the manager, or maybe I'd check the policy first. I'm not really sure. It just depends on the situation, I guess. You failed because uncertainty kills you in interviews. Even if you don't know the perfect answer, you never say, I'm not sure. Ask a clarifying question instead. It's going to buy you time and show that you think critically. So watch this. Let's say you're reviewing access logs and you notice an employee has access to financial systems that they should not have. What would you do? Here's the better answer. Good question. First, let me clarify. Is the access explicitly against policy, or is it access that seems unusual but might be approved? So now the interviewer has to think. They probably just made this scenario up 30 seconds ago, so you're making them work. That's good. It shows that you don't just react. It shows you think. So if the interviewer says, well, let's say it's against policy, then your answer is, all right, got it. So what I would do is I would document what I found with a screenshot and then timestamp, and then I'd escalate to my manager immediately. I wouldn't confront the employee directly because there might be context that I'm missing. My job at the entry level is to identify and report, not to enforce. So I'd follow whatever escalation procedure is in the company's incident response policy. Boom! You just showed 3 things. You showed you document evidence, you escalate properly, and that you know your lane. That interviewer, they're going to be impressed, and they're probably thinking, wow, this person won't cowboy it and create problems. Okay? Excellent. You're at 80 points now. Question number 5. This is the one that checks if you're serious about this field. So the interviewer asks, well, how do you stay current with cybersecurity news and trends? All right, here's the wrong answer. I read articles sometimes. I follow some people on LinkedIn. No. That's weak. That's too vague. Be specific. The interviewer wants to know you're actually engaged. Here's the better answer. I follow 3 sources daily. I read the CISA alerts for government advisories on vulnerabilities. I listen to security podcasts during my commute to hear about recent breaches and what went wrong. And I'm active in cybersecurity, Discord communities where people share real-world scenarios. I also set Google alerts for terms like data breach and compliance fines, so I see when companies get hit and why. So now the interviewer just wrote engaged with industry in their notes. You're showing that you don't clock in and clock out. You actually care about this field. So you get 95 points. 1 question left. Question 6. Okay, your turn. And I'm gonna be honest, most people bomb this one. Do you have any questions for me? Terrible answer. No, I think you covered everything. You just told them that you're not that interested. Never, ever say you have no questions. That's like going on a date and saying, I don't care about getting to know you. You know what's also terrible? What's the salary? No, save that for HR, not the hiring manager. Better answer, yes. 3 questions. First, what does success look like for someone in this role in the first 90 days? Second, what compliance frameworks does your team currently work with? And third, what's the biggest challenge your GRC team is facing right now? Those questions, they show that you're thinking about impact. They show that you want to know the technical stack and you want to understand their problems so you can help solve them. Now, the interviewer is probably leaning forward. They're excited to answer because you just hit 100 points. Boom, interview over. All right, so let me tell you what just happened. You walked into that room nervously, and within 30 minutes, you answered 6 questions that prove that you are prepared, that you are knowledgeable, and that you are thoughtful. The hiring manager is gonna call you back. They are. Okay, this actually happened. Some people follow this exact approach that we teach at Excel Mind Cyber Institute. They had a GRC analyst interview at a healthcare company. They got asked 5 of these 6 questions and used the answers that we just went through. And you know what? They got called back days later. The offers were good and they began their journey a few weeks later. All right, now it's your turn. Screenshot this. Write down those 6 questions. Practice each answer out loud 3 times. Not in your head, out loud. Time yourself. Keep answers under 60 seconds. Then walk into that interview like you've already done it, because you know what? You just did. And before you go, smash that subscribe button if this helped you. We drop cybersecurity videos like this regularly to help you on your journey. One last thing, just watching all the videos in the world That's great, but it takes action, and that is what truly matters. Now, Excel Mind Cyber Institute is here to ease your burden. You're going to get the structure, the accountability, and the real-world hands-on experience. You'll also get daily tasks, personalized guidance, and the skills that actually land you a job. So if you're ready to turn your cybersecurity dreams into a reality, check out the challenge in the description below. You've got this. Now go out there and get that job.